Okay, this is the Dre Mario show, and this is Dre Mario. I'm Dre Mario. Apparently, the live video that I did on YouTube, I cannot upload it. So they might not get my views up because you might not really be able to see it. Whatever. But anyway, so what I want to discuss is transphobic versus preference. Uh, because it seems to always be an issue, uh, mainly in the trans community, as to why transgender people don't want to date other transgender people. Some call it transphobic, being transphobic, and others see it as just having a preference. And because those that see it as being transphobic can't relate to it being a preference, they have no understanding because they feel like one transgender should be with another transgender, whether it's a female to male or male to female. They feel like those two should merge together and date, be a couple, raise a family, whatever the case may be. But is it transphobic or having a preference? Because, like I stated in my YouTube video, I know someone that likes tall men as opposed to short men. That's their preference. It does not mean that they like tall men because they hate short men. Or you have people that like small frame people as opposed to bigger people. Bigger people who have a preference as opposed to like the small frame people. That doesn't mean that they hate the other. It just means that that's not their preference. Uh, I made it like I like coffee from McDonald's. It does not. It's not flavored coffee. I don't. I prefer this coffee. It does not mean that I hate any other coffee. It's just this is my preference right here. This is what I like. So it must be coffee phobic. Whatever. So I think that people are allowed to have a preference. Some people say, well, trans people can relate to other trans people. I don't find that necessarily to be true. You can't compare this person having surgery and this person having surgery and that being a reason that y'all should date. It doesn't work like that. Some people say, well, okay, you got this trans person over here that was rejected by their family, disowned by their family, put out rejected or whatever the case may be. Then you got this person over here who didn't experience that. Um, their transition was pretty much a walk in the park. So this person over here can't necessarily relate to this person, just like this person can't relate to that person. So you can't use that as a reason to say that y'all should date because this person understands what you went through. No. If this person wasn't kicked out, rejected, disowned, they can't understand, they can't feel what you feel because they didn't experience that. They didn't experience the rejection and being mistreated. They just can't. So you can't be mad at them because that's not what they went through. You got some people that cannot afford to have surgery. You got some people that were able to afford the surgeries, whether it's top or bottom surgery. Okay, you cannot be, the person that can't afford it can't be mad at the person that was able to afford it. Okay, that's just like the person that had to pay out of pocket for surgeries compared to somebody that had insurance. The person that had to pay out of pocket can't be mad at the person that had insurance. But yet and still, people have a preference. People are entitled to date who they want to date, feel what they want to feel, And nobody should even be held accountable for that. You shouldn't, just because this trans person does not want to date you and you're a trans person, it's not any reason to label them as transphobic. That's just their preference. And I don't think that nobody should have to explain or break down the reasons why their preference is their preference, because that's their business. This trans person over here is mad because this person doesn't want to date them. You automatically just say, well, it's because I have XYZ parts, ABC. No, they just prefer not to date you. How about that? They just don't want to date you. But call it transphobic if you want to. That's on you. But that's a preference. Just like you prefer to date trans. Okay, this trans person prefers to date trans people. Okay, that's your preference. So, being that that's your preference, does that mean that you as a trans person hate cis people? I mean, it can't be one sided. It has to be equal, right? So, because this trans person don't want to date you and you trans, they're transphobic. But what is it when you are a trans person and you only want to date trans people and not cis people? Are you cisgender phobic? Man, come on, be for real here. And like I say once again, no two people are gonna have the same experience. It's just not gonna happen. Um, Call it what you want, but the truth of the matter is, everybody is entitled to their preference. Everybody has their own opinion about shit. People can't change that. You cannot say that this transgender person should be with you because of what you went through, and all people go through the same thing when they are transitioning. Not true. Not true. Hate to bust your bubble, but it does not work like that. So let people have their preference. If you get offended by their preference, then that's something that you should probably work on in your world. Never try to make somebody feel bad because they have a preference. It's just that simple. And I'm going to end this video, and I'm Dre Mario. And that's the end of this.